Greetings, adult collectors. I am Crash the Customizer. Welcome to another Transformers Custom Showcase. This is my Transformers Legacy Animated Universe Shockwave. This is a figure I actually didn't make completely on my own. I actually seen a picture of someone else had done this, and I thought Armada Megatron and painted it into animated Shockwave, which I think is just total genius because it actually does work really well because of how Shockwave actually appeared in animated. So if by any chance the original creator of this is actually watching, thanks for coming up with this idea, because I never would have even thought of this. So whoever you are out there, you're a genius. Okay, so obviously I did do some things of my own. I didn't want to be a complete copy. One thing I did is to get the face, I actually used Play-Doh to cover up the actual eyes and then paint in the little one eye for Shockwave. And then I added this little Lego assembly that kind of gives him his claws that he has. The claws are completely posable. Uses the same claws I use for Lugnut. And there's like a whole Lego assembly. I don't know what they call these pieces, but then there's just little bars in here that allows the claws to work. So first thing we do with Shockwave is we need to get him into his long arm form here. Alright, so to transform him into long arm, what we need to do is first thing we need to remove the claws. So we're going to remove the claw sections, and they basically just peg into the same ports for the original figure where you could take the little blaster and stick it, which you could also do, and you could have Shockwave have his little blaster arm, but of course they never actually had that in animated. What we're going to do here is we're going to shift down his arms and also collapse him down a little bit there. And then we're going to take this section here and flip it in. So you flip out these hands. This one here I didn't do the Lego assembly arms, at least yet. I might try to do it later, but I think for right now it's good the way it is. So then we're going to take his chest and we're going to open it up and flip out this piece that normally was just a way to kind of cover up his face in vehicle mode, but because of how we're making this in the long arm, I just took a image of the head, and I actually did use a thing in PowerPoint to kind of draw it so it actually looked a little better. So then we're just going to take these little horn things and bring them down, and there we have long arm, or long arm prime I should say. So he's become an Autobot, and I didn't put any symbols on him because I think it's kind of, because like one thing, he would have to have an Autobot symbol or a Decepticon symbol here, and the other guy that I got this idea from, of course, had the pieces that went here, or an Autobot symbol here and a Decepticon symbol on this side. But I didn't really like the pieces there because I felt like they kind of got in the way as far as like transforming, so I just took those pieces off. And I may in the future figure out some way to maybe make the Autobot and Decepticon logo, switch somehow. But for right now, I think it's fine the way it is. So yeah, now it looks like long arm. And then, of course, to turn it back to Shockwave, just flip his hands back in. And then we're going to raise his horns back up, open up his chest, flip the long arm head back in, close up his chest, and then we'll take his claws and put them back on. So it looks like Shockwave. And, of course, like if you wanted to, like you can totally do this and kind of give the classic Shockwave look where you can do his little cannon arm. But like I said, to the show, to be more accurate, of course, he just needs two hands. Maybe if the show had continued, he might have actually had that. Who knows? There's really no telling what they would have done with the show if the show had continued. Oh, and also for Shockwave, I need to lift these up so it do that. And then of course, you can take this up all the way, but I prefer doing it right about here so he's not completely tall. Because then he's like in scale a little bit better. And here's how he looks with Lugnut and Megatron. Now, honestly, he is a little taller than Megatron because this is actually the leader class Megatron, so it's a little taller than my custom animated Megatron. But I mean, Shockwave is a pretty big guy in the show, and even though he's not really taller than Megatron, I think this kind of works alright. I mean, I'm okay with it. I think the scale kind of is a little off, but I think it works. So yeah, there's a scale. Now let's get him into his vehicle modes, because he has 2 vehicle modes because of being both long arm and shockwave. So we're going to have to take these off, because you really can't transform with this. And one thing I forgot to mention, whenever I do transform it into long arm, I like to collapse the claws up here, which is not really easy to do because the claws are very weak, but I like to kind of stick them in here so it kind of hides them, I guess. But I don't necessarily have to do it that way, just that's the way I will do that. Okay, so let's get them into the vehicle. Whoops, see what I mean about the claws? They're very weak. It's kind of why it's best just not even really cut open to close them. I really don't know if it's just these pieces or that these are old, because I know I've had these for a long time. I'm not entirely sure on that. Anyway, so we're going to open these up, and we're going to collapse his arms up into the treads here. So then we're going to, of course, push this down, shift these up to here, I believe. Okay, so open this up, yeah, and then collapse up this. Oh, I need to also bring these pieces up here. So bring these up, and then these will actually lock into that. So then collapse that up, lock it in. That's stubborn all the way. Okay, so then we're going to just do this. Collapse his feet up. Come on. There we go. Pretty tight. So we're going to open up this panel. Collapse. I also need to rotate the waist around. Yeah. So I need to take these and get my weight here. It's like rotate the waist. There we go. Yeah. Now it'll line up right and it'll actually make the tank. So I just need to get the thing to collapse in place correctly. And there we have him in his tank mode. Now I will mention, when it came to making this actually, or you can move it or even have it rotate all the way, was really, really hard. Because the way they designed this obviously was never supposed to come off. So I had to break a lot of pieces in there, and it was really difficult to actually get this to work. But I ended up drilling a little hole, stuck this Lego piece in here, this little cylinder piece, and then put a peg here. So it allows you to be able to put this on here like this, and then you can rotate it all the way around. Now, what I like to do with this claws here is I like to collapse them up, and then so to attach, we're going to bring in these little pieces here and just peg them in right here on the bottom of his feet here. Put that piece back on. That tends to want to fall off all the time. And we're just going to collapse it up like that, and then close his thumb up right here. So claw there. And we'll do the same on this side. We'll open up this. We can put this little peg, and then collapse it up. I need to collapse the thumb down like that, and then put it in like this, and then collapse up the fingers, and then collapse the toe up like that. So there we go. Now we have the claws just kind of hanging out back there. And here's how he scales with Megatron. And that scale is still a little off, but it works. So then we'll turn around this way. Yes. So, and here's how he scales with my lug nut. Now, we're going to put him into his long arm vehicle mode, which is a crane. So what we're going to do is we're going to untab these. Just kind of do this pretty tight. Okay. So then we're going to take these here, going to unpeg them from here. So these ones are pretty tight. This finger, or this little claw finger fell off again. Okay. So maybe I can get this stuff. There we go. So then I can unpeg that. So that'll allow me to kind of bring these out here. So we kind of bring them back just a tad. And then we're going to take the legs and we're going to kind of collapse them up. So we basically want it to kind of angle a little bit to kind of get that little thing going here. Collapse legs. This is what it kind of is going to look like. Something like that. So then what we need to do is You take this little piece here, and just gonna stick that on here. And this is the entire Lego assembly, by the way. You can see we got these little pieces here. Got a little like these are usually used for like the spider legs for the Chima sets, but I of course painted it silver, and I had to kind of bend it, and it just broke. That's nice. Well, fortunately, I have this. So let's fix that. Yeah, bending that did have its drawbacks, and that's part of it. So let's see here. Let's put a little bit of glue on there and fix that. So let's see. There we go. Anyway, so we just basically peg this into the port on the cannon here. And again, so there we have Long Arm in his vehicle mode, which is like a little crane-looking thing. And then, of course, transform back. We're just going to take this piece here, going to put it back into here, bring this down. We're going to, of course, put it back into tank mode first here. So we'll just pull this piece here out, collapse this up into here, and then his horn fell off, or so peg it back on, and then just kind of basically say put him back into his original assembly here as a tank. I'll leave that piece off. Okay, so I just need to kind of get things to line up. There we go. Take this piece here, so peg that in there, and then peg that there. And there we have him back into his tank mode. So we're going to start from tank mode to get him back into robot mode. So we're going to, of course, pull these pieces here out. So claws off to the side here. And what we're going to do is whip up his feet and about the heels. All the joints are pretty tight in this figure, which is not a bad thing. I usually seem to get the ones that don't actually have tight joints, so it's always a plus when they are. So, okay, so then close that up. Yeah, what happened to the panel? Oh, wow, that's never before. The panel actually stayed on there. That's weird. Alright then. Put the panel back where it goes. Okay. We're going to rotate his waist. And then going to open up his arms. Raise the camera just a little bit because it gets pretty tall. So then we just need to get his arms out, which is kind of hard to do. There we go. And then bring these pieces here down. So it'll collapse up into here. Go. Get the arm out. Close these back up. And of course, this piece is removable. So if you want to, of course, remove it. This piece here fell off again, and so I accidentally broke that. So I'm going to take this off for the rest of the review here, so I can let this actually dry and actually be fixed here. Alright, now that's off to the side gluing. We're going to take his claws, open them up, this little peg piece out here, and peg it into the port on his hands. Open up the claws. Here. Turn the wrong way. Turn it this way. There we go. And I don't know, I guess, yeah, here we go. Or maybe even here. Just kind of stick those on there, I guess. That kind of works. Of course, you can also, use this peg here, stick it into here, and you could give him a little cannon arm like Megatron, I guess, if you wanted to. Let's put that back into there. Extend him up a little bit. And there we have my custom Transformers Legacy Animated Universe Shockwave. This figure turned out pretty well. This really does work pretty well for an animated Shockwave. And it does really actually look like animated Shockwave. I mean, if you were to look at this figure, you could definitely tell that this is the Shockwave from Transformers Animated. So I hope you enjoyed this custom Transformers showcase. And if you would like to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any guesses on what the next figure will be, because there is one more figure in this animated line I've created, please comment down below what you think the next figure will be. And until next time, this is Crash the Customizer, out. I am here. Perish, Autobot! Don't shoot! It is me, Lord Megatron! Oh, sorry, Shockwave. I did not recognize you in your disguise. Now go, my Spybot, and join the Autobot ranks, and learn all of their secrets. As you command, my liege. Soon I will know all the Autobots' secrets, and Cybertron will be mine.